Hello there, everybody. How are you all doing today? It's time for more E3 2008. Megan is here as well.
This time with Nintendo.
This time with Nintendo. We'll see how this one goes. Now, I do think 2008 with Nintendo was interesting because I want to say... Because it's the second year of the Wii, I believe. Right?
Yes.
So, when did Wii Sports Resort come out? Was that 2008 or was that a bit later?
It was either 2008 or 2009, I think. I'm not sure.
Okay, because I know we're probably gonna see that, which means we're probably gonna see Wii Motion Plus, right?
Yeah, and I'm like pretty sure Wii Music is also part of this one.
Is Skyward Sword potential?
I don't think so. I think they came out in like 2011.
Because I'm not too sure. Because I want to say, if I remember correctly, when they demoed Wii Motion Plus, maybe that isn't this year then. Because I feel like they demoed Wii Motion Plus with a Zelda game. Because I remember it being like strangely awkward, but also very fun, right? Not like the kind of awkward that, like, you know, Microsoft or Sony would give where, oh, it's not working. What we do. Yeah, it's more like, oh, it's awkward, it's not working well, but we're gonna have fun. See, that's why I like Nintendo. Maybe that's why Nintendo usually wins for me, because they just have fun. So anyway, this video has been uploaded by Carslock. Once again, thank you to Carslock. He's kind of been the hero of E3 Nintendo archiving, at least, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see quite a few more from him over the course of the years.
Probably. He'll probably go until it's over, to be honest. I think Carslock is here to stay. So go follow Carslock. Go watch these videos. They're great. So yeah. All right, Megan. Are you prepared? I don't know if I am, actually. Hold on. I am not. Now I am. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Once again, we'll play with the volume as always. Sometimes it's loud, sometimes it's quiet. This is Wii Sports music, isn't it?
Maybe it is Wii Sports Resort. Maybe you're right.
I'll admit,
I never owned it.
Yeah, I never owned it either. I heard it was really good.
I heard it was good, and I played a little bit of it because my friend brought it over once. But, like, yeah, I never played Wii Sports Resort.
Man, Nintendo has such good marketing for this too. Like, look, like it's like, oh, look at everybody play our console. It's so good. It's so smart.
It is really smart, yeah.
I'm still, because we never got a Wii Fit 2, right? They never had a second one.
No, I don't believe so.
I wonder if they'll ever attempt like well, I guess they have like Ring Fit. I guess that's kind of a spiritual successor, maybe. I don't know if that's like Nintendo specifically. I don't think that's made by them, but I feel like it's close enough.
Like, it's the same kind of idea. Like, there's a few games like that on the Switch. Like, I don't remember the name of it, but there is one on the Switch. It's like a fitness boxing game.
Okay.
So, like, there are a few type of games like that. They haven't made one with, like, a true balance board or anything since Wii Fit. And I know there is a Wii Fit Plus. I just don't know how that comes into the picture.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Executive Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Nintendo of America, Cammie Dunaway.
Cammie Dunaway, that's a new one. I don't think we've seen her yet.
We have not. There's also a lot of empty seats by the front.
That is.
Good morning. Well, as you
I do remember her, actually.
My name is not Reggie.
It's okay.
These days, I do have a lot in common with my boss. We're both having a lot of fun.
I was to say, is Reggie not here this year, or is he just coming out later?
I feel like he's probably coming out later. I think Reggie... I'm pretty sure he does this until he retires, right? I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I would assume so.
Now, of course, as a mom, it helps to be at a company like Nintendo. As my son Davis said in my Mother's Day card this year, Mom, I love you more.
I want to read the Mother's Day card.
This
Yeah.
Love you, Mom. You're the best mom in the world. I'm glad that you work at Nintendo, but I love you more than that. You bring me new games, but I love you more than that too. I love you more than anything, Mom. Yeah, I could see it being a legitimate like card. I don't know. I don't think this is actually fake for the show.
I mean, I could see that being real, but like at the same time, I'm like, well, I don't know.
I mean, it's weird that they bring up Nintendo in games, but I could see a kid doing that. Especially a kid that's gonna put like a race car on their thing, you know?
I mean, I don't know. I heard about that guy online whose uncle works at Nintendo, so.
True. You mean your uncle didn't work at Nintendo? Or your cousin's uncle didn't work at Nintendo?
No, they weren't cool enough for that.
Mom, I love you more than anything. And not just because you bring me all the video games. Now, how could that not put a smile on my face?
I do wonder how often like Nintendo execs or even like other company execs are allowed to bring home games and stuff for their family.
Than some other things I've tried.
I mean, I imagine that's maybe one of the perks.
Trying out snowboarding.
I could believe it.
And I thought that made me a really cool
I mean, it's basically
mom.
free player testing. You just ask your kid, "Oh, what do you think?"
I mean, yeah, true.
When through some absolutely freak occurrence.
I think it'd be funny if they had their own like company store where they got like a discount on the games.
That would be.
Right off my board.
Oh.
And I landed with full body weight right on my left wrist. Short story, the ground won, my wrist lost. And I can tell you, it is one long ride down the mountain when you're being pulled by the ski patrol. What I discovered that day is that snowboarding is really a lot harder than it looks. But the fact is, I don't like a smile taken off my face for anything. And I also really don't like giving up. So,
understandable.
I decided that as a snowboarder, all I really needed was a little help from a friend. A really talented friend. And I'm smiling again today because I think I've found the perfect answer.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Oh, the Wii Fit board. Okay.
Shaun White snowboarding, of course.
Yeah, I forgot about that actually.
Man, I remember when Shaun White was like relevant. I feel like he's not really anymore. I don't know if he still snowboards, he might.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I've never heard of Shaun White.
He's just a really famous snowboarder. He was like, let's see, what was it? He did a lot of like Olympic snowboarding for America, I believe. Won like a lot of medals. I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
I would say I kind of figured, just based on the fact they're making a game around him. Although, just watching him like do the snowboarding on stage, I imagine that must be really awkward if you're like really into snowboarding because your center of gravity doesn't change at all as you're trying to turn on the snowboard.
I mean, probably, yeah.
So it probably feels really weird.
How are you?
That's a very interesting way to just like start off the presentation, though.
It is.
Warming up.
Okay. Now,
They've really gotta advertise the Wii Fit board, considering how much they probably sold the Wii Fit last year.
Take advantage of the new balance board from Wii.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, once we put the board involved, it just enhances the gameplay. I mean, for me, it's so unbelievable because when I'm actually on my snow.
So I guess you're tired now.
Yeah.
Just like on the game, you go
I mean, that
fast
makes
and
sense.
all your spins and.
I just kind of went to his first
Now, what other kind of
thing
input
was.
did you give the team to really capture snowboarding?
I mean, a lot of the stuff for me was just kind of describing what it's like for me. Because when I'm up in the air, I see a totally different view than everybody else gets to see. So I had that input and just, I don't know, just.
And so it looks like his first Winter Olympics might have actually been 2006.
Well, I've also been told that
So-
pretty much
Oh, okay.
anybody can just jump on the board and go. I don't know if you heard my opening, but
I heard.
I'd love to give it a try.
I could bring it on. All
All
right.
right.
All right, let's go.
I mean, how many times
Put your strap on.
be able to get pointers?
Okay, good. They're putting the straps on.
I'll give you some tips.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's see. Let's get my board going here.
Calibrate.
Okay, yep.
I think this.
What event should we try, do you think?
Let's do the half pipe.
Oh, man, that's your
Ooh,
event. I
half
don't know
pipe in.
Oh, you are me right now.
That's true, he is the half pipe guy.
I'll try to do
There you go. That's a method.
See, now this is a pretty
From the camera.
decent way to use the balance board, I think, right?
Make me look good.
Yeah, I think it's really
Alright.
smart. Because like snowboarding or even skateboarding, both of them probably work pretty decently with the balance board. Oh.
Oh, you got it. There you go. Just aim down the wall. There you go. See, the more you go down the wall, the faster you go, and the bigger.
Perfect
you go
10%.
out, like for me in real life.
See, I feel like if you land like sideways, you're probably not gonna stay on the board. Unrealistic.
Nice run. All right.
I mean, no, because at least from when I did skiing, like they do have safety locks that are designed to disengage if there's enough pressure, so you don't like break your ankle if it twists.
Oh yeah.
So I assume snowboarding is a similar thing.
Now, all of you can have as much fun as I just had making your own runs down when this game arrives exclusively for Wii by year end. Now, if everyone would please welcome me in joining Nintendo's global president, Mr. Satoru Iwata.
Woo.
Woo!
Thank you, Cami and Sean. And good morning. I think everyone recognizes that a big change, actually a true paradigm shift, has taken place in the global game market. 5 years ago, in May 2003, I addressed E3 for the first time as a president of Nintendo.
Man, we were there. We saw that.
I still vividly
We did.
recall that day. Because
That's pretty crazy. It's hard to believe it's been 5 years.
everyone attended
Yeah, right.
held a pessimistic view about Nintendo's future. That period was not enjoyable, but I knew that people were just using what seems to be a common sense view of the video game market. I must admit that even Nintendo employees could not have imagined that 5 years later, the market would have responded so quickly that we could be selling millions of bathroom scales around the world.
I mean, it's kind of true, right? It did sell pretty well from what I remember.
When a true paradigm shift occurs,
I mean, hell,
Yeah,
I
I'm pretty
have
sure
one.
Wii Fit.
common sense.
Yeah,
doesn't
Wii Fit was
seem
one
to
of their
make
most
much sense
popular
anymore.
games behind Wii Sports,
And
but that was
I
bundled with
believe
the console, so it's like,
that's
yeah.
what happened in video games. Today, I'd like to spend a few minutes to discuss what has really changed in this new paradigm.
All right, explain to me, Iwata.
First, we are now selling games which can sell steadily for a long period of time. In the past, it seemed impossible to expect any software to sell for 2 years or 3 years. But titles like Nintendo's and Brain Age are doing just that.
Yeah, they had a lot of really popular
Also,
games at this point.
New Super Mario Brothers and
Yeah.
Mario Kart DS. To use a Western term, these products seems to be evergreens. This, I think, is a really
You know, I
big
wonder if
change.
they're gonna announce the DS Lite.
Second,
It could be possible. I think that might be something that might happen.
it is no longer
It would make sense.
Yeah,
players
because I was just thinking about it, we
only
haven't
see
seen it
new
yet, and it was a
titles
pretty
with
big
more
revision of the
gorgeous-looking
console.
graphics and more sophisticated content.
Basically the DS Slim.
Of course, I myself am aware that great numbers of game players around the world do demand increasingly gorgeous games. And we at Nintendo continue to challenge ourselves to meet these needs. Today, I want to let you know that our internal team, which creates Mario games, and the one that make Zelda games, are both hard at work. They will bring new titles to Wii. On the other hand, it is also true that games with new concepts like Wii Sports and Wii Fit have received support from many customers for entirely different reasons. Small teams with small budgets can capture a worldwide audience if they have a great idea.
That is very true.
And this is both the challenge.
In fact, I feel like we've seen that even more recently in modern times too.
Third,
Yeah, I would agree.
certainly the user base has expanded. Take a look at this picture. Or what about this one? Before, our common sense view of the video game market was too limited. Now we have learned that intuitive interface can help attract those who never considered video games before. And audience expansion brings a related effect. It has changed the seasonal nature of video game hardware sales. Game systems used to be purchased more often as a gift item during the holidays.
Yeah.
Today, game hardware systems are more likely purchased by people for themselves at any time of the year.
I'd say that's pretty true.
Recently in Europe,
Yeah.
consumers are buying more than 200,000 Nintendo DS units a week, as if every week were a holiday week. Here in America, players have bought an average of 700,000 Wii systems over the last 3 months, a level typically not seen outside of November and December. Finally, in a very unexpected way, we are seeing a new form of social interaction developing. Last year, I said that we would like to destroy the psychological barriers that exist between gamers and non-gamers.
It worked.
Okay.
Esports and WePlay
It
showed
did.
this was
At least for a while.
but alone, they were not enough to prove general trend. Mario Kart Wii and Wii Fit created more of these conversations. But maybe the strongest evidence comes with Guitar Hero 3. While it is available on many platforms, the Wii version is outselling all others. At Nintendo, we believe there is progress being made in destroying the psychological barrier.
See, I'm trying to think. I mean, it's probably true. He's probably
But
right.
now, with a new paradigm,
That's probably outselling all the other
what
versions.
can we expect next?
But
Yeah.
Even if it is
I
revolutionary,
feel
sooner
like-
or later,
I don't know if it was with
become
Guitar Hero 3 or a
tired
different
of
one
a
that
new
maybe
form
came
of
later.
entertainment.
But I feel like
This happens
the Wii version
when
was
others
different enough
try
that it didn't
to
appeal to me
reproduce the
personally.
initial change.
I don't remember why though. I think maybe there's some songs
What
that
seems
just
fresh
like
inevitably will be lost.
I don't know where I don't know. I'm not really too
All
sure.
of us
I
in
feel like it
the
was
video game
like
industry, there is danger in standing still.
I don't know. I'm trying to think if it was seen as
this
like
is not
one of the worst versions,
there
but I'm not
are
really too
answers.
sure. No, let me see.
Personally, I believe
I didn't even know the
we must
versions
find
were
more
different. I
ways
never
for
played
players
any
to
off
feel
of like the PS3
engaged.
or PS2.
Different ways for them to be enriched, even with interactions we would not call games. And most of all, the overall experience from our products must be increased enthusiasm. Unfortunately, all this is much easier to say than do. So, let me conclude by saying that we at Nintendo always challenge ourselves to be pioneer in forming new paradigms.
Let's see.
We seek fresh surprises, and I hope you will enjoy the ones we have for you today. The first one fits with a larger social trend.
I don't know, maybe I'm
we all
wrong.
see, with consumers acting as creators and then sharing their work. Certainly, we are not the only ones to think along these lines. But we believe Nintendo can add something different, engage players.
Okay, so I guess maybe I'm correct. Maybe I'm thinking of a different game.
This morning,
Okay.
I guess one of the main differences is that the 360 has downloadable content, and the Wii version does not.
Creativity and community together in a key holiday release. Thank you.
I became a game designer because ever since I was a child, I loved playing video games. As far as how I came up with the idea for Animal Crossing, what I thought was to create a field where the players could communicate with each other. I wanted to create a software where players could feel like they are playing together, even if they are playing at different times.
I forgot about City Folk. I forgot that was on the Wii.
I did too. I don't really know much about the Wii version of Animal Crossing. I think it's considered okay.
The town is where you live and do the things you like. There are no required goals, and the players are free to do things their own way. I think the players really feel like the world is happening in real time. Even when you are not playing the game, the animals in the
Apparently got mixed reviews.
get up in the
Okay.
and then go to bed at night.
Maybe it's just really awkward with the motion controls.
So you could really feel like
Oh no, Bunny Day!
Oh no.
Get Zippo out of here!
So it looks like the main reason this was mixed was because it wasn't different enough.
The city is a brand new place.
Oh,
That was
okay,
basically
okay.
just like every other Animal Crossing, I guess.
Makes
There
sense.
is an auction site where you can see items that are for sale. Of course.
Which, yeah, I could see, because I think a lot of the Animal Crossing games at this point were fairly, like, similar to each other.
Where you can find out what
Yeah.
other players are doing.
I mean, it makes sense. One of the big things about New Horizons that got me really into it was just the fact that they introduced the terraforming. I think it makes the game kind of interesting.
Harriet's beauty
Yeah,
salon,
right, like, it was a lot
where you
more,
change your hairstyle.
like, modular, I guess.
Put on a mask
Yeah,
look
and also
like
being
you're
able to
me.
have your own island versus just having a town or your house, right?
Of course,
Yeah,
The
right.
key to Animal Crossing is communication. And there are
So
some
I am kind
exciting
of curious of
advances.
what they're gonna do with the
For
next
one
one
thing,
eventually.
You can write letters to other players and attach pictures to them. You can send them not just to other towns, but to the Wii message.
To Reggie.
Ah, send it to Reggie.
cell phones and personal computers. But the biggest news is a special new microphone option called
I do
Wii
find
Speak.
interesting that they did that, considering I assume this is the first one that really uses the Wi-Fi.
That lets every person
Possibly.
with another
We
room
speak.
for
I don't
players
remember hearing about
anywhere
that.
in the world.
I don't remember about that either.
For example, for today's main event, we are having a fishing contest.
I doubt the voice is that clear through it.
You can catch different fish depending on
I mean,
the
that's
season.
clearer than it was ever on the PS3 when I played that Call of Duty. So,
Oh, this is terrible.
Waiting for it to bite. Waiting.
Hmm.
Waiting.
my fish.
Oh, that one's mine.
Oh,
You can really get a sense of the personality of the player. For example, when you go to someone's town, you can see how they decorate
look
their
at them just
room.
running around the table for
Yeah,
like, no
right.
reason.
I mean, I feel like that's accurate to gamers, to be honest.
It's also
I
fun
mean,
to
I
see how
suppose.
they
I
have
just
set
figured
up
they were
their
gonna
town
interact with
because
stuff in the room, but they
it
just
tells
kept
you
just running
what
around the
kind of
table.
person they are. And I think that's really fun.
So it's interesting. So I guess the Wii Speak wasn't originally planned to be bundled
This
with
makes me
City
happy
Folk.
to hear stories of
Mm,
And I
okay.
think this is actually kind of a silly reason.
or
When asked why, Miyamoto said, The cost was a factor behind the decision, adding that some users may prefer playing the game without a microphone, and that others may want to use Wii Speak who are not interested in buying City Folk. But then they later just bundled it anyway. I guess.
I mean,
maybe after some backlash.
I would say those are kind of some lame reasons, and I mean they did show it off during this presentation, so it's kind of implied that it would come with it or at least be sold separately.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, okay, there might be some players that would want the game but wouldn't want to use it, or want to buy it separately, but why couldn't you just sell it separately if that's the case? Or sell versions of the game that didn't come with it.
Woo,
like,
Reggie.
I know that's more production. Reggie!
Yeah, definitely more production.
When I last talked to you from an E3 stage,
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. It's just I heard the name Reggie and I had to.
It's okay. I say it's pretty much done.
With Animal Crossing,
Yeah, I do remember when he said that last year.
by the end of this year, complete with the Wii
Yeah.
Speak option.
Did you hear it?
Of course we're pleased.
I think
And in a
so.
larger sense,
All right, we're gonna pause here because we're gonna put Megan on the spot. Megan, what did he say? It's okay if you didn't.
Talking about the Wii Fit stuff, or am I just misremembering?
Oh, Megan, it's okay if you didn't hear it, Megan, but you don't need to lie to both me and the audience. It's okay to say you didn't hear it, Megan, because then I can just go back and we can just watch it again.
good morning. When I last talked to you from an E3 stage, I closed by saying that we at Nintendo were pleased, but not close to being satisfied.
Mm-hmm. See, that's what I remember.
With Animal Crossing on its way to Wii.
So that's what you're gonna say? I'm sorry. It sounded like you were gonna say something else before I had
No,
Reggie
it's fine.
speak.
I'm good. I'm good.
Megan, no, please.
I don't have anything else to say.
Okay, I thought you did. I'm sorry.
By the end of this year, complete
No, it's okay.
with the Wii Speak option. Of course we're pleased. And in a larger sense, we're even more pleased with our marketplace momentum. After all,
Yeah, Megan, you don't need to lie to me or the audience, whether you hear something or not. It's very apparent when you don't. Let's put it like that.
DS surpassed
And plus, if you can just go back in time, it doesn't really matter,
the
right?
sales of these two game
yeah.
devices alone now combine to represent more than $5 billion at retail just in the US. But despite all this, we're no closer to being satisfied. That's because there are still tens of millions of people around the world ready to get into the game that we all love. And at the same time, there are millions of us veteran gamers hungry for what's next. At Nintendo, we want to fill both those needs. Let me begin with a little marketplace perspective, and I promise I'll keep this short. Here are lifetime global hardware unit sales for the last iteration of each major platform. The biggest bar belongs to Nintendo DS.
This all makes sense, I think, in terms of sales.
By our current fiscal year, next March, we expect that total DS worldwide sales will grow to almost 100 million systems. Focusing on DS here in America, annual sales have ramped up each year.
They've doubled, essentially, almost each year.
Yeah, it's quite a bit.
Cling to previous expectations for product cycles, and consequently thought that 2007 would be the peak year for DS. However, it still represents better than 2 out of every 3 handhelds sold here in America. And so far, in 2008, DS sales here in the US are running another 12% ahead of last year's record. Hardware sales are always driven by key software franchises. And this spring, that key franchise was Pokemon.
Yeah, typical.
Yeah.
The companion Mystery Dungeon series sold through more than 600,000
I love those games.
copies in just
One day I'll
6
play them.
weeks.
Yeah,
This
you do need
brings
to play those ones.
lifetime total
Or Explores the
sales
Sky,
for
at the very
all
least.
Pokemon titles
to 180 million. The arrival of games like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon and Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games have pushed total DS software sales in America 29% ahead of last year. Now, later this week, we believe the June NPD data may show that the back and forth battle between Wii and DS as America's best-selling game system may have shifted for the moment back to DS.
Ooh.
In no small part, it's due to those evergreen titles Mr. Iwata mentioned. We began running a TV campaign in May targeting females, featuring celebrity endorsements. Within weeks, unit sales for titles like the Brain Age games.
I don't know who named their kid America. That just seems wrong, to be honest.
Yeah, it seems a little weird to me.
Yeah, like, no offense if anyone watching this is named America. It just seems really weird. It'd be like me running into a child that's named Canada, or United Kingdom, or France, right? It's weird, you know what I mean?
Even steeper.
I mean, if your name was United Kingdom, could you just ask people to call you King as a nickname?
I mean, I guess you could.
I'm King.
And the yellow bars represent sales from year 1 through month 19. It's here, beyond the realm of the
I find it interesting how it all essentially doubles, except for Xbox.
Its historic sales pace is
Yeah.
actually increasing. When those June NPD numbers are released on Thursday,
Although I find it interesting they use months 12 and 19, because normally they would use like 18 for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
On a worldwide basis. Now, you all know about the popularity of Wii hardware, but perhaps not as widely appreciated is the story for Wii software. It's exactly the same. Again, no system has ever sold more games during its first 19 months of availability. And again,
the 360 seems to have a lot more software sold, which makes me think that there's a lot of people that are buying multiple games for the system.
I mean, it could be possible.
Well, that's just what it suggests to me if it has higher software sales than digital sales, right? Or than hardware sales, I mean.
True. Actually, let's compare these two graphs. Let's actually have a look-see.
Because even looking at the PS2 there, like, I'd be curious about the average number of games that people had that bought the system. Because with it being that high, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like 5 or 6 games for the average person.
I mean, possibly. Yeah, no, there is all quite a bit higher. I mean, I guess, like... So from my perspective as, like, a consumer, right, around this time...
Yeah.
Because it was definitely around this time when, like, you know, I started getting consoles, like, more so on launch, which is kind of funny, because I don't really do that, like, now.
Yeah.
Now I usually wait a little bit. Except that's probably going to change, because, like, you know, you're a part of my life, you know, sometimes you want to play games together, and so I feel like I should get a console along when it comes out, because I know you'll probably get it when it comes out. Not that you're forcing me to buy it, it just kind of makes sense.
I mean, possibly. I will say that will probably happen whenever the Switch 2 comes out.
Yeah, like, it's definitely going to happen with Switch 2. You're going to get it, and I'm probably either going to feel a slight bit of jelly and get it myself, or there'll be some games that we want to play together, and then we'll just, like, yeah. So I'll probably get a Switch 2. Which is good.
You're like, come on, Matt, let's play the new Mario Kart or Pokemon.
I mean, probably, right? Which, so yeah, I'll probably get a... So I'll probably start getting consoles, like, on release day, typically. But, like, as a consumer, like, typically at around this point, I did, and I believe I said this before, I did gravitate towards, like, the 360 a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I don't really know why that was. Like, I don't really have a lot of PS3 games, and I don't really remember getting a lot of PS3 games. Most of the games I got were on the 360, and I think or played, whether it was rented or bought, right? I'm kind of, like if it was on multiple consoles, I would usually go for the 360. I don't really know why. I think part of it may be, to be honest, I just really did not. So I love I love the controller for the PlayStations in general, right? I've always said that it's one of the best controller designs. But there was something that they did with the PS3. I think it was PS3.
Yeah.
That really threw me off because the bottom, like the L2 and the R2 buttons.
Yeah.
The triggers were a little weird to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
Right?
Because instead of them being like actual buttons where you press down, they're kind of like curved triggers, so they do feel a little awkward to like actually hit the button sometimes.
Yeah, like there's just this really awkward feeling to it where like I don't know, it just felt really strange. And I think I think you're right that it lacked like the curve to it, right?
Yeah.
Like it had this really really different like feel to it. And that really put me off. Like, I know it might sound really weird that, like, oh, maybe I didn't buy as many games for it or play as many games for it because of the controller. But it really did not feel good to me, right?
Yeah.
Which, like I said, I love the controllers in general. It's just there was something about the PS3 one that really, really messed with my head when using it, where it just did not feel right. Which is better with the PS4 and PS5, right? Like, it's good now. Like, it's really good now.
Yeah, those controllers are nice. I love both of them.
But like it bothered me to the point where I don't know if I still have them. Maybe one of my controllers still actually has them. But I bought these little accessories that you like clip onto them. So it has like an outward curve to it. So it kind of fits kind of like how the PS2s would. Right?
Yeah.
So it felt much better to me to have those on. But yeah, I don't know. I just gravitated towards the 360. And the thing with the Wii software, right, is they just had a lot of really unique stuff. So of course their sales are going to be up. Plus, you got like the casual market, right?
Yeah.
Casual market big. So they can get a lot of software sales. 360, like I said, I don't know. I just think I don't know if it was the better console of that generation, but it was probably the console I used the most.
Yeah.
Right. Like without a doubt. Now what was I gonna say? I had a thought, but then I lost it. Yeah, like I don't know. I don't know. I just gravitated towards the 360 in general from a personal view for why 360's graph might be a little bit bigger. Maybe other people thought very similar to me.
I think a lot of people did, especially early in the generation, because the PS3 didn't really pick up until like the latter half, like I think after the Slim came out.
I mean, possibly.
Because the price was a big barrier at this point, still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very true. Yeah, it's really kind of funny, right? Just kind of talking about like the casual market with the Wii. So you played Game Dev Tycoon, right? This is very like kind of off topic in a way, but it's also kind of on topic. I always thought it was really interesting how the best setup you could get in a Game Dev Tycoon, and I do this like every time I play. And I want to say it's base game. I don't think it's modded, although I did mod my Game Dev Tycoon pretty heavily after like the first few playthroughs, I think. Best way to get out of the garage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is to make a casual game and release it on the Game Boy the moment the Game Boy comes out. You make so much bank in Game Dev Tycoon if you get a casual game going for the Game Boy. Like, it's actually absolutely crazy. You sell so many units and you get out of the garage, you make so much money. That always catapults me into like the next stage of the game, basically.
That's really funny, because I didn't play a ton of Game Dev Tycoon, but it's pretty funny that there is like meta strats like that in the game.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't know. It's so good. Like, man, I should really show you some of the mods that I have for Game of Tycoon, because I think you'd probably find them pretty fun. I will say Game of Tycoon does get like boring to me after like a couple of playthroughs. But that's only because, you can only really do so much with it. But you take a break from it for like a year or two, you go back, it's like, damn, man, this is still pretty fun. Make your little, fake games and maybe unlock some new genres that you haven't unlocked yet. It's fun stuff, right? It's fun stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just always find that kind of funny. Because it's like, yo, casual Game Boy, do that prints money.
Money, money, money.
Availability. And again, the sales advantage after year one continues to grow. It's no secret that Nintendo internally approached game development for Wii on two different fronts. On one hand, we made sure we leveraged our well-known stable of stars early in the generation to satisfy and
dude, I said this before, I'll keep saying it. Nintendo has the best IPs. Most recognizable, most memorable. They can always do something with Mario, especially.
That made even confirmed.
Yeah, they're definitely very good at creating unique and long-lasting IPs.
But now a new dynamic is emerging. Having passed a year and a half in the market, our creative third-party partners are finding success with Wii. To date, 19 different third-party games on Wii have exceeded sales of 400,000 units in America alone. And those titles come from 11 different publishers. The wonderful thing about this trend is that there are almost as many strategies on how to attack Wii development as there are different developers and publishers making those decisions. For example, you might ask, if this is the platform that will be dominated by new kinds of casual games.
Oh, I do ask that, actually.
Is this the place to use the unique forms of Wii interface to freshen up even the most legendary IP?
Yeah, man, Reggie knows me so well. I'm asking all these questions.
For new franchises with obvious core appeal that set new standards for a genre?
Yeah, that one too.
Well, the correct answer is all of the above.
Ooh.
The Wii library continues to grow far faster than other current consoles. And there'll be dozens and dozens of new titles arriving in the coming months. The truth is, there's no way today we can give you even a quick glimpse of everything that's on its way. So instead, we've chosen to limit our preview to just 3 new games that take very different approaches to the interface options.
Very bold, actually.
On Wii. Take a look.
Star Wars Clone Wars, huh?
That's interesting. I didn't know about this one.
Skywalker is the Republic's only hope.
I've heard good things about the Clone Wars series.
I have too.
Like the TV show. I don't know about the games, mind you.
Yeah, I have no idea about the games, but I have heard about the show in particular. It's been really good. Went on for a really long time too, because I think they just recently finished it, didn't they?
I mean, recently as in maybe like a couple years ago.
Yeah, like I don't think it was. I'm trying to remember how long it went on for, but it went on for quite a long time. Like I want to say it was like 6 seasons or something.
It did. I want to say it did a thing where like it was gone for a while and then it came back and then they're like, oh, it's the final season.
Yeah,
oh
I believe
God.
so. Oh no!
More rabbits. There's still Rayman Raving Rabbids though, at the very least.
I know, but the Wii has been out for like 2 years and this is the 3rd game. Like I forgot how much they flooded with the rabbits. Also, they had Wii Balance Sports Sport. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, like I mean, the thing with like the rabbits is they're just such a huge IP.
Yeah.
Which they thankfully kind of faded away. I feel like people got tired of the rabbits.
Yeah.
So the Star Wars Clone Wars game generally received negative reviews, apparently.
Oh. Call of Duty World at War.
So, like, good third-party games, apart from the Star Wars one, probably. I don't know how World War did on the Wii. I like World War, honestly. A lot of grenade spam, but that's the only real issue with it. It was very different, actually, because you had, like, Call of Duty was always in Europe, and I think this was the first one that took place in the Pacific.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's kind of a lie, actually, because it did have a campaign in Europe.
Hmm.
When you played the Russians. I think you're like Russians and American. And you know what? I'm going to throw this out there because I think it's a cool little fun fact. Technically, it is the prequel to Call of Duty Black Ops.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Which I didn't know about until I actually read some stuff. Or maybe someone pointed it out or something. But there's like a character that shows up in World at War. Right?
Okay.
And then the same character's in Black Ops. And funnily enough, the character that you play as in that campaign in World of War is also on Black Ops. So it's really interesting.
That's cool.
It's like, oh, if you played World of War and you see, oh, Black Ops, oh, the character's here? Man, that's crazy. You know? Like, it's like, oh, that's cool. Like, I don't know. I never played Black Ops. To be honest with you, I've always heard it was good. I should probably play it one of these days.
You should.
I mean, they're probably cheap enough now, right? Just to, like, get through, like, all the older Call of Duty games. I could probably do that.
Yeah, especially if you get the console versions. Like, if we go to our retro game store, we could probably get them relatively cheap.
Yeah, like, they're probably, like, $20 max. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
for
just
the
don't buy
older
them
ones.
on Steam.
Yeah.
On Steam, they never go on sale that much.
Yeah. So, yeah, maybe I'll go and I'll play the Black Ops games at some point. I think it would be kind of cool. Because I'm no Call of Duty hater. I want to throw that out there. I actually really like the games. Yeah, okay, here, let me go on a little bit of a rant here, right? Let me go on a bit of a rant. And I've known people like this. I've known people that have said this. So, you know, this is somewhat personal to me. I don't understand people that say, I don't like Call of Duty because when you play it online, all you do is hear children over the mic. It's a very, very silly reason to not like a series. I can understand not liking Call of Duty, right? I get it. I guess at the time it was also just like heavily flooded in the market. I think this is one that literally did come out yearly for a while.
Yeah.
Which, you know, you get tired of it, right? That's kind of thing. You get tired of the same series over and over again. It happens to a lot of big series, though, unfortunately. Assassin's Creed. So,
yeah,
you
no
know,
kidding.
So you get tired of them after a while. I understand that. But if your main complaint for not wanting to play Call of Duty game is because there are a lot of children that play it online and you hear them over the mic or whatever,
yeah,
that's really dumb, because just play the single player game. The single player campaign, I mean, it doesn't really apply anymore as much, I don't think, since, you know, you have like Warzone, which is like only multiplayer. But, you know, the single player campaigns, you know, play them. They can be fun, right? I don't know anything past, like, I think Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 would have been the last one that came out that I played. So, like, I'm very out of date with my Call of Duties. I don't actually know which ones have good single player anymore, but, you know, around this point, people were still making that complaint, and I was like, you know what? Single player Call of Duty 4, perfectly fine. I liked it, you know? Call of Duty World at War, perfectly fine. I liked it, right?
Yeah.
Then you know what? Maybe I'll get some flack for this. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Like, I liked Modern Warfare 2 as well. I actually really enjoyed that one from a single player perspective. I never played the third one, which I probably should because it actually finishes the story, I guess. But, you know, whatever. I like the single players for what it is, even if they're kind of stupid, right? Even if they're kind of silly, you know, I can appreciate it. I guess that's kind of the thing, right? Is like in the old World War II Call of Duties, I guess the story, like, couldn't really be as silly because in the end you're playing through like a real event, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, it still is kind of grounded in reality. But then you have Modern Warfare, which takes place for a fictional war, which, as we've seen from like through a modern lens, I don't think could ever happen, which is, whoa, the Russians are paratrooping troops on American soil. As we now know, that would probably never be able to happen regardless, because we've now seen the Russian war machine. And it's not the greatest, I'm going to be honest. So, you know, purely fictional in every single aspect. But, you know, there are things in the Call of Duty Modern Warfare games that do get a bit silly. Like, I'm not going to lie, but they're still fun, right? Chill out. Just have fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, people need to take things a little bit less seriously sometimes. And like you said, the whole idea of like talking to people online in a game and being like, oh my god, it's all kids, that's a really dumb reason to not play a game.
It is. I don't know, and I've heard that argument too, right? Like, I'm not too sure how many people would, but I've literally heard people say that.
Yeah, because like I could understand a little more if the game is like really geared towards kids and it's not really your thing, like if it was like Roblox or Fortnite or something. But if it's a game you're interested in, it shouldn't really matter who's playing it. Like, you can just mute people, can't you?
Yeah, exactly, right? And you know what? I'll throw this out there too, just because you mentioned Roblox, right?
Yeah.
I'd even argue the same thing for Roblox, because you know what? I've not played Roblox like ever, right? It doesn't generally interest me, but I've seen some like other people play Roblox. You know what? Some of the games. Oh wait, no, that's kind of a lie. Actually, I played like a smidgen of Roblox. When someone I knew was like, "Yo, let's do this," I was like, "Okay, fine." We played like some stuff. So I guess but not much, right? It's something that I never really had too much interest in doing. But some of the games I've seen, really good on Roblox, right? Obviously, not everything is good, but you see some of them that get made. It's like, wow, that's actually really solid. You know?
From what I've heard, yeah. I've just never had an interest in Roblox myself. I'm not really into sandbox games like that a ton myself.
I mean, same, right? Like, Roblox isn't really my thing. Like, maybe some of the games would pique my interest and I'd go give them a playthrough or something. That hasn't happened, mind you. But I've seen some stuff where I'm like, you know, if I ever do, like, download Roblox, I'll probably play this one. Right?
Yeah.
Also, a little side note, just because, like, to me personally, it's kind of amusing. One of my, like, biggest annoyances that I ever had in Call of Duty was, back in the day, there was someone that I knew, and they made, I think one of their friends, like, put up videos on YouTube or something, and they were, like, getting together to play some sort of Call of Duty. I don't remember which one. I think it was one of the Modern Warfare games. I don't remember. And I watched the video later, and it really bothered me, right? Really bothered me, because, I mean, there are a few things that bothered me about it, right? Like, I'm not gonna, like, you know, say any hate or nothing. But one thing specifically that bothered me, and this is purely because, actually, it may have been World at War, actually. I don't quite remember. I don't remember which Call of Duty game it was. I think, I want to say it wasn't like a Modern Warfare one, but I don't remember. But this bothered me specifically because I have historical knowledge, right? Yeah. One of them put down a weapon in the game. It's like some kind of bomb, right? We'll just say it's like a bomb. I know what it's called. We'll say it's a bomb for now. Okay. And it's a kind of bomb where if you get close to it, it pops up out of the ground and then explodes, right?
Okay.
And in the video, they were saying, man, that's so dumb. Why would they think that exists? Like, that could never exist. That's so weird, especially back in, like, this period of time. I'm like, you idiot. It's a bouncing Betty, I think. I think it's called a bouncing Betty. The Germans literally had that in the 20s. It's like, are you stupid? The answer is, yeah, that's kind of mean to say. Right? So I didn't actually say that. I mean, I didn't say this to any of them, but yeah, it's mean to say. It's for the meme, all right? for the meme.
I mean, in
But
my defense, I don't think that's like common knowledge. If I saw that, I wouldn't think it's a real thing either.
Well, I know, but that's like I said, that's why it bothered me personally as someone that like is into history, right? Is they're like, man, how could that exist? It's like, do your research. It's a bouncing Betty, right? It pops up out of the ground, it explodes. It's literally what it did. It's done that for the Germans since the 20s or something, right? It's like it's not using some sort of modern, advanced alien technology. It's using real-world technology that we've had since the early 1900s, apparently, right? So, I don't know.
Are you sure the Germans aren't aliens?
I mean, hey, at one point, if the History Channel is to be believed, they tried to be. But yeah, I don't know. That's always been one of my like little Call of Duty stories that I don't ever really talk about that doesn't involve me playing the game. It's just like, yeah, I don't know. It's just it was one of those things that like just bothered me. I don't know. Because I'm like, I know what that is. That exists, doesn't it? And then I Googled, and I'm like, yeah, this is what it is. I don't know. My point is, if you don't know what a bouncing Betty is, that's perfectly fine. But
you should do research before you say stuff like that online.
Well, I think what bothered me is they said it with such confidence, right?
Oops.
I think I'm making throwing her stuff around now, right?
No,
but okay. So tell you what, I'll shut up here soon. But for like a bit more context, throughout the whole video, they were kind of shitting on the game. Right? Like a lot. For really no good reason. And one of their arguments for the game being shitty was that the bouncing Betty existed in it and it didn't make any sense. Right? So I think that's part of why it bothered me so much, because I'm like, if you're gonna like shit on something with such confidence,
you gotta make sure you're right.
You gotta make sure you're right, and you gotta make sure you at least know somewhat about what you're talking about. Otherwise, you're just gonna kind of sound like an asshole. Like, there have been even times when we've done this E3 stuff where we've literally looked stuff up after. Like when we talked about the Eternal Darkness thing, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, Matt, I'm pretty sure it was around 2020 when Eternal Darkness spiked. And I'm like, Megan, no, are you serious? Like, nah, come on. That spiked like way earlier than that, didn't it? Right? And I was like, no, there's no way. And then we literally looked it up after it. And then I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm an idiot. You were right. I'm wrong. Right. and I put it in the video because, you know, I feel like it's good to kind of confirm or deny whether you're right or wrong. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you're just going to spread, you know, misinformation. Which is a very big deal nowadays. Right? Interestingly
enough.
It
is. Yeah. More than it used to be.
Yeah. And it's like, you don't want to spread misinformation like that. So to me, it's like, you know, like I said, that's why I like to look things up. Yeah. It's kind of funny because even when like Megan and I are just like talking about, like Megan likes to bug me a little bit sometimes, saying that I always feel like I need to be right, which I don't think. Well, yeah, like I don't think that's true personally. I just like to look stuff up and confirm, right? Because I'm like, oh, you know, I think I'm right, and then I was like, let me go to Google and just find out. And then you're like, oh, I see, you just want to be right, don't you? And I'm like, no, it's not about that. I just want to see if I'm right or wrong. You know.
So you just want to see if you're right.
I mean, you know, I guess to an extent, but it's not for the purpose of being right. Is my point, right? I just like to know.
And I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, but basically just do your research if you're going to say stuff, right? To anybody watching this.
But that's only half of our software story.
And the bouncing Betty exists.
What we've just seen are games that
and it's a cool piece of technology, I'm just saying.
But what about the games that travel with you? Every year, portable games take a bigger bite of the total software pie.
That's true.
What's driving this growth?
So what do you think the Switch counts as?
Who are they?
See, I think the Switch actually really kind of like blurs the line between console and like stationary and portable gaming. You know?
Now, recipients are defined as those
it does. Like, I think in terms of what Nintendo thinks, I think they would classify it like as a home console.
By 2006, the percentage of female
but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if like the stats of people using it portably are the same, if not higher.
I mean, I could see it. I don't know. I'm just not too sure what they would count it as. Because as we've seen through these E3s, they like to say, like, you know, especially for Nintendo, because it's kind of their thing. It's like, well, here's our portable sales. Here's how well our portable consoles are doing. So I don't know. I find it really interesting. I mean, we're never really going to get that because,
yeah.
How long did E3 last after the Switch came out?
I
guess it lasted well enough.
I want to say it was like 3 years roughly, because I know they canceled 2020, and I think they canceled 2021, but then they had it in 2022.
Was Nintendo there? I don't remember. I feel like Nintendo may have taken that off.
I don't remember.
Because I know there was at least one year when Nintendo was like, yeah, we're not showing up to E3. And I remember that was a big deal because everybody was like, damn, that's like one of the big three not at E3. I don't know if they eventually did go or if they did do something. Maybe they just did a Nintendo Direct instead of doing an actual conference. But
yeah, I think they just did their own Direct when they did that.
But, you know, like, I guess in that regard, we never really got any of these graphs to, like, showcase what they saw the Switch as.
Yeah.
Whether it was portable or home console. Because it's both, right? That's kind of genius of it, is both.
I mean, it is both. They're basically combining their markets onto the same system.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd be curious to hear what Nintendo thinks about that. I'd be curious to see what they consider it. Or if they just split the graph in half, they might.
I mean, I assume they would just consider it the same thing, because, I mean, there's a lot of people like you that mostly use it in docked form, and then there's a lot of people like me that mostly use it in handheld. It really just depends.
Yeah, true. I could see that. I also want to say I do find this pretty interesting, right? That's kind of why I paused it here, because I wanted to point out how neat it kind of was that this is kind of like half and half at this point in 2007.
Yeah. That is pretty interesting, actually.
It is. I kind of wonder what it would be now. I think it's probably closer to 50-50 nowadays.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's literally right on 50-50. I've heard so many people talking online, especially girls, that are playing games now compared to how it used to be.
Yeah. Which is very good, by the way.
Yeah.
Exact parity.
I just think it's really interesting.
The DS appeal is universal. And that appeal is apparent with our third-party hits as well. Activision reports that the current DS version of Guitar Hero on Tour sold 300,000 copies in America in just its first week.
I always forget On Tour was the thing.
An even more imaginative interpretation of the franchise called On Tour Decades is on the way. The DS
they didn't know about On Tour Decades.
The only gaming dedicated platform where you'll find Will Wright's Spore this year.
Oh boy.
We think both of these
Yes, I need to do a video on Spore as well. I forgot about that. I actually do have the YouTube link for that one lined up, by the way. I thought ahead on that one.
Yeah.
Because I want to talk about Spore. I think I was just waiting for this E3 to happen in case anybody talked about it.
Guitar Hero on Tour Decades.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot I want to say about Spore. I have a whole lot I want to say about Spore.
Spore is a really cool concept, and I was really excited for it.
Is a feature that allows me to take my version of Guitar Hero on tour. And
so we'll talk about Spore either when we see it during E3 or when I show off the video.
Whichever happens first.
The innovation of the guitar grip, really allowed us to bring a tactile experience.
I wonder how hard the guitar tick for your or guitar pick for your DS screen would be. Like, I feel like if you got really into the game, that would be pretty damaging for your screen if you're not careful.
I mean, possibly. Yeah, I'd be curious. Well, maybe we should get it, and then we can see.
Yeah, because I mean, I technically have Guitar Hero on Tour. I just don't have the actual grip because I got it through like Retro Game Treasure, and they gave me the DS cartridge, which you literally cannot even play without the grip.
Oh yeah.
We focused more on the creature game for the
Yeah.
Nintendo DS.
So I don't know much about Spore creatures.
When we designed the game for the Nintendo DS was to
I don't really know anything about it.
Elements that are really about Spore, which is player creativity and that sharing. With the
Honestly, I've
Nintendo
never
DS,
seen
not
it
only
even
were
when
we
we've
able
been
to
out.
sort
I'd
of
be
take
curious
advantage
to
of the
see how much it
stylus, so we
would
could
go
create
for. I
this
can't
creature
imagine it'd be
creator
too
that's so
expensive
easy
of a
and
game.
intuitive to use. You just drag.
Okay, you know what? You know what? They're talking about Spore. You know, whatever. I'm gonna count it because I don't know. I want to talk about Spore. All right, I'm gonna count this. I'm gonna count this. So Spore. Here's my history with Spore. Megan can say hers after she wants to. Here is my personal history of Spore. I saw many years ago. I don't remember how I came across it. I don't remember like anything prior to it. And like I said, I'll talk about this one probably more when we actually show off the Spore video. But I remember I saw a video of Will Wright presenting Spore to an audience. I don't think it was at E3. It may have been. I don't quite recall. But it was during the era of, you got to download this video and then you watch it on your computer. Man, it's crazy. No YouTube, right? So, and it was this, honestly kind of poo-poo little video that just kind of showed off some stuff. But it looked really cool. It's like, you start off as like this little cell, and then you grow bigger, and then you do this, and then, you're in the aquatic stage, and then eventually you grow legs and grow up on land, and it's like, damn, this looks really cool, right? And all the like Spore creatures looked not realistic, but they had a more like, you could see it being like kind of a real thing, right?
Yeah.
Like it had like texture to it and kind of realistic colors, right? And it's like, this is actually pretty cool. And then I was pretty hyped for it. And then the game came out. And then I played it. And I was like, where's my aquatic stage, Will? What happened to my aquatic stage, Will? I'm just on land now? All right. Why is everything so colorful and cartoony? Man, it's a bit weird. What happened to my more realistic textures, my more realistic like stuff? Like, man, cartoony. All right. Okay. Okay. Well, okay. Tribal stage ignored because kind of boring, to be honest. I'm sorry, Will. It's like, tribal stage. Whoa, cool. City stage. Whoa, I can make buildings. But yeah, I'm not gonna make a building. Actually, it's kind of boring to do that. I don't really feel like making a building. Man, it's just so lame. Spore had such a good idea, and then it just like fell flat on its face, man. Like, I know some people love Spore. To be honest, I still think Spore is a cool idea. But I think it would have been cooler if they stuck with the original vision of Spore. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. Right?
Yeah.
And like, I understand that yes, when you get to the UFO, things open up after a few hours when you unlock some stuff for the UFO.
Yeah.
But it just seems like such a boring game. Like, the most interesting part of the game is the creature stage.
Yeah.
And even then that's not really like super fantastic. Man, I don't know. Spore is a game that had so much potential that just disappoints me continuously to this day.
Yeah, because honestly, the game is kind of half-baked, because even if you go through, like, every stage, like, it's very simplistic and there's not really a lot to it. Like, they spend so much time developing the tool to create creatures, which is good. It's probably the best part about the game. But, like, the actual game itself is just, like, it's really lame. And, like, it can be kind of funny. Like, I remember when I got to the civilization stage, I was more on like the herbivore side and stuff going up to that. So I'm like, okay, I'll go for like the religious side. So like as I was conquering stuff on the planet, I was just converting people to my religion, and I found that really funny.
I mean, fair. That is pretty funny. I don't know.
And I mean, like, when I was a kid, I really enjoyed the game. I played it a lot. When I got to the space stage, I played quite a bit. But then I got to a certain point where I'm just like, this game really isn't that fun, and I haven't played it really since.
Yeah, like, honestly, I think I would have enjoyed Spore a lot more had I not kind of seen, like, say, the original version of Spore before they made all the big changes. Because, like I said, Spore is not a bad game. It's just, it's just not exactly the kind of game that I would have wanted out of it.
Yeah.
And it's also just very bare bones. And that's kind of the problem when you make a game that has like 5 separate games in it.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's essentially what Spore is. Like the cell stage, it's neat. You're a cell and you're doing stuff, right? I don't know, there's something cool about that. And you grow bigger and you slowly see your size grow. And then, suddenly something that tormented you when you were small, you can now eat. Right? So that's kind of cool. And then no aquatic stage, Will. I'm just saying. And then we're on land. And like, that's cool as well, right? It's neat to be like a creature going around doing creature things and just seeing all this like stuff. Like, I don't know, it's neat. But
yeah,
even that, like, even though that's like the best part of Spore, it's still very bare bones. Because what do? You eat food. You maybe unlock a new part that you may or may not want to use. You have sex in the game.
And you can fight or make friends with other creatures around.
Yeah, and then you fight or make friends with other creatures. And then your brain gets big, and now you're in a tribal stage, which I don't remember what you do in it, to be honest. Like, you mentioned the religious stuff with the cities, which I forgot about completely, to be honest. And I don't remember what you do in the tribal stage. I think it's a very similar thing where you can either fight other tribes or assimilate them somehow. But like,
yeah,
it's so
like that.
bare bones. Like, it's just so bare bones and boring that it's so sad. Because legitimately, if you just take the creature stage, right? And I'm serious, you take the creature stage and you just expand upon that and make that the whole game.
Yeah.
And it's so like, you could probably do so much with it, right? Like, I'm not saying game of the year or anything, right? But if you just focus on the one most interesting aspect of your game and then you expand upon it, maybe what you do is you start as a little cell, you go into the aquatic stage, Will, and then you eventually go up on land, right? And then from there, you just play the creature stage, and then maybe eventually you get the brain, and then you kind of go into like, your tribal stage, but you don't change the gameplay. Like, you don't suddenly make it like an RTS, right? You just kind of keep it where you're controlling a creature. But now you have a bit of a tribal village. Okay, neat, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just think that's a cool idea, right? But when they made it into like a basic Civ game, a basic like RTS game / civilization game, I lost all interest because it's like, I could just be playing Civilization, to be honest.
Yeah.
I could be playing Age of Empires. I could be playing Black and White. Like, I could be playing Black and White too. Like, I could be doing all of that stuff instead. And it's just... And I mean, the space stage is also really cool, but you got to go through so much like boring stuff to get there. And even when you get there, you got to unlock stuff for your UFO. So you gotta
it takes a long time.
Yeah, like, you gotta grind for it. And it's like, cool, now I have everything. Now the fun begins, right? It's like, okay.
Yeah.
But what if I don't want to spend hours getting there? It's just such missed potential. It's such missed potential, and it's always bothered me. Spore has always been one of those games that to me has had the most potential that has then been squandered. Into just having... like it's just squandered, Like, I even remember when they talked about the ability of having like flying creatures, like making your creature able to fly, right? Giving them wings, right?
Yeah.
And allowing them to fly. Guess what? You still get wings in the game, but they're purely cosmetic and don't do anything.
Well, is that 100% true? Because I thought if you had wings on your creature, you were able to jump higher at the very least.
I mean, you might be able to jump higher, but I mean, it's like...
But yeah, it's not.
Does that really matter, right? Like, does that like how does that really affect gameplay? Do you even like, how often do you need to jump in the game? Like,
I mean, I think you can jump and like eat fruit and trees and stuff rather than getting stuff off the ground. But like, yeah, it doesn't really change much. It doesn't really matter. It just seems like they had that idea and then like they got to a point where they kind of had to cut it.
Yeah, right. Like, I mean, sure, if you can jump higher, okay, fine. Yeah, look, let's say, because you're probably right. It probably does have that aspect to it. But so let's say that's even the case. You know, like having a flying creature is just so much more cool, right? Like it gives you more options. Like I even like the idea of keeping your creature aquatic if that's what you chose. Right? Like assuming they kept the aquatic stage in, you know? So, you know, if they just expanded on that one area, that'd be so cool. Right? Like even like legitimately, even if they didn't have it so your creature evolved like into like a tribal stage, I still think that would be the way to go. But even if you just had your creature stay in the creature stage throughout the whole game, I mean, you could, like, I'm not a game designer, I don't know. You could probably find a way to not make that boring after a while, right?
Probably.
Maybe make it more about exploration. Like, oh, cool, you know, now I have this, so now, oh, look, maybe we found a land bridge. Let's go to this new continent or something, right? Like, I don't know. You could probably find a way to not make that, like, boring after a few hours alone. But, you know, like, I don't know. I'm very passionate about Spore, as you can tell, right? I've held on to this thought for years, you know, because I was such a big fan of the Spore idea. I bought like the deluxe collector's edition or whatever. You've seen the box, Megan, right? And you know, so clearly I was quite invested in the game. You know what? This is gonna make me seem dumb, but back in the day, I did buy the Creature Creator demo.
Ooh.
I did buy that. I did because I was curious and I believed in Spore. Right? So you know, I had a lot of faith in the game, and then it was not that game at all. It was not that game. To this day, I'm disappointed. I will probably forever, and you know what? There's never, as far as I know, anybody can correct me. Please do, because I would play it. I don't think there's been a game like Spore that's attempted it.
I don't believe so either. At least I can't recall anything like that. If anyone does know of anything that's like similar, I would love to be able to try it.
Yeah, right? Because it's such a good idea. Like I said, the Creature Creator is really good. And you know what? I don't know. I guess one way you could expand it is to just like give you more customizable options. Because I'm gonna be honest, the customization is also like somewhat bare bones in terms of like the parts you get.
Yeah.
At least from what I remember, it's like they're not super creative or super great. But like it's a cool concept, and it's so sad it never went anywhere. That nothing ever came from it. That the game is just very mediocre. Once again, maybe opinion on Spore's changed. That for all I know, people seem to like RE6 now, whereas back in the day, that was not the case. Right?
Yeah.
So maybe there's been a resurgence of Spore where people now really, really like the game. But just from me personally, it was always one of gaming's biggest disappointments. Not because the game itself was necessarily like awful, right? But because it had so much potential in the creature aspect, especially. You know?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I wish there were a company that tried it again. Like I say, maybe keep it in the creature thing, right? But I don't know. I would really like a Spore-like game. Well, you know what? Actually, there is that one game that we the one demo of a game that we played a while ago, actually, in Steam Next Fest, which literally just seemed like the Spore Creature Creator. I don't remember what the name of the game is. Admittedly, you know what? I could probably, hold on. Let me go to my YouTube channel here. Let's see if I look up demo, because I title my demos with demo in them.
I'll imagine that.
I'll probably find it. You didn't actually like that one. I remember when we played the demo of it. You weren't too impressed, but I thought it was a good idea.
Yeah, I think it was just the presentation of the game. To me, it didn't really feel that good, so I didn't really have the patience to go through it that time.
Where is it? I need to just find the thumbnail for it. Here it is. Adapt. That's it. Because Adapt, is Adapt out? Hold on.
I have no idea.
No, not adaptabilities. Don't autofill something. I don't want autofill game. Or Google. Adapt on Steam. If it's out, I'm curious how it did. No, coming soon. So it's not out yet.
Okay.
But yeah, that's actually one of the games that I played that felt a lot like what Spore kind of could have been. I mean, obviously it still wasn't great, but you could be an aquatic creature, Will. So, you know, it already had that at least. At least I'm pretty sure you could be an aquatic creature. I think he had the parts for it. Yeah, it even shows it on the thing. So, you know what? Maybe when Adapt comes out, maybe if it's not good, maybe I'll eventually look back at this and I'll say, you know what? I can eat my words. Maybe there is no way to make the creature stage good for a long period of time. But if Adapt comes out and it's really good, then you know what? I'm going to say, well, right, all you had to do was this. All you had to do was this game right here. You know what? I'm gonna keep an even closer eye on Adapt now, because now I have a bit more of a stake with this. Now that I've finally let all my thoughts on Spore out. You know?
Yeah, okay. That sounds good.
And I swear to God, if Adapt does the thing where it's like you're a creature creator and now, whoa, tribal game, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be really upset, though.
Parts from in the parts panel over onto your creature and add to it. The other thing about Spore that on the PC that we moved over to the DS was the ability to share.
See, when I have something that really means like something to me, I can go on for like way too long. Honestly, I'm sorry about that, everybody.
So you kind of get your own little posse going with your friends' creatures, and it can really help you out in gameplay.
I'm very passionate about certain things.
For game designers and game makers.
Yeah.
It gave the opportunity to open up and sort of say, hey, we can design.
Megan's like, thank God he stopped talking about Spore.
I mean, I like Spore too. I didn't think you were gonna talk too much. I do think I've seen that same like Spore demonstration though. I think my brother showed it to me.
Now, in addition to these great exclusives, I can add one more piece of launch.
I guess we'll have to see.
The next invasion of Pokemon. The highly Pokemon Rangers Shadows of Almia will offload onto U.S. shores.
Is that a bad one?
I didn't think it was.
The 10th.
No, I've heard that was actually pretty decent. That's like the last Ranger game we got, though. That's the third one.
Okay.
I'm just surprised we didn't see any of the other ones.
Coming to DS. And new Pokemon 2.
Pokemon.
And make no
I like how she says Pokemon like, you know, a Western mom.
To the core as well.
Right?
Yeah.
Pokemon.
We can announce today that a custom version of Grand Theft Auto called Chinatown Wars.
Oh, it's the game.
It's the game. Now, Megan's saying that because this was, weirdly enough, a plot device in South Park.
Yeah.
Which is really weird, to be honest with you.
It's really weird, but, you know, that's, like, my only, like, association with the game. I've never played the game, never really seen the game. I just know Eric wanted the game on DS.
He really wanted Chinatown Wars for some reason. I don't even know if the game's that good, to be honest. It might be. But
I don't think so. It is like a top-down 2D, like Grand Theft Auto type game, but I've heard it's not really that good.
City, the game features a custom game engine, new characters, and the same free-ranging gameplay that GTA fans have come to expect.
Free-ranging gameplay. She gives us so many vibes of like, I don't even know why I need to pause here. She gives us so many vibes
Nintendo and
of a mom.
Have been using the DS.
You know what I mean?
I mean, she did advertise herself as a mom at the beginning of the conference.
Like, I mean, that's true, right? But like, she's saying Pokemon. She's like free-ranging gameplay. When I would say free-roaming gameplay.
Here's what I mean.
Right?
Now, I'm one of the many people.
She probably goes to the Walmart.
Who spend
way
too much time in airports. And much of that time is already spent on my DS. Currently, I'm playing Animal Crossing. So,
she's even playing the mom game of Animal Crossing.
DS and air travel came together in a different way. For example, when I land, why can't my DS provide information on where I can claim my luggage or the gate for my connecting flight? If I'm staying over,
because it's not a cell phone.
What about the nearest ATM or
I mean, true.
Mexican restaurant?
I guess that's the thing too. Like,
being tested.
The cell phone kind of circumvents like needing to have a DS.
What about
to do that
changing
stuff.
up your next visit to
Yeah.
the ballpark? Well, at Safeco Field in Seattle, fans are already using their DS to check the box scores of other live games, watch highlights, compete on trivia contests with other fans in the park.
Now you can literally just do all that on your
Even
phone.
using the DS
Yeah.
touchscreen to order up that Seattle sushi favorite, the Ichi roll. Seriously, they really have that stuff in Seattle. Now, speaking
See, now
Yeah,
that you
baby.
mention this reminds me of
one
like
more idea.
old, I
Could
think
it
it was a
be
GT
that
Live
the
live
DS
stream, if I'm not
could
mistaken,
even earn a
where Matt
spot
Pat was
in your
doing
kitchen?
stuff in like creative
some time
Minecraft,
now,
and he
in
ended up
Japan,
ordering a
Cooking
pizza
Navi
through
has
like the
turned
system
DS
in the
into an
game.
electronic
That's kind of cool.
and the
Yeah.
same title will serve up both
It was pretty
international
fun, from
messages
what I
Yeah,
remember.
and
Minecraft is
content
crazy for that kind
when
of stuff.
An English version arrives
Yeah.
here in November. The perfect timing for people like me looking for help with their holiday dinners. Trust me, I'm even worse at cooking than I am at snowboarding. Now, in many ways, the DS may be transforming itself from a great portable device for gamers into a natural companion for everyone. Reggie?
Cammy just talked about looking at something very familiar, the Nintendo DS, with a fresh set of eyes. Let me build on that idea, literally. We all know what this is,
I do.
and as you may
Have one
have
in my home, in
heard,
fact.
we're about to redefine the Wii Remote
Oh,
thanks to this.
Hey, this is Wii Motion Plus.
yeah.
What this small accessory does is make the Wii Remote more precise, more
I never had a
responsive,
Wii Motion Plus,
more
but it
intense.
always seemed like
It's called Wii
You know,
Motion Plus.
something that's really good.
Yeah, they ended up eventually
Wii Motion
like
Plus
putting it
renders
in the
every
controller by
slight
default,
shift
because the
of your
ones I
wrist or
have are from a
arm
later version of the
into the
Wii, and they have
gameplay.
it built in.
Oh, really?
But
Yeah.
as every game player knows, technical advances can be empty promises.
What if you stick a Wii Motion Plus
without
onto that Wii
outstanding
Remote?
software.
I have no
So
idea.
today,
Yeah, Wii Motion Plus
we're
Plus.
going to show you how this
Now I'm kinda
worthy
curious.
successor to the Wii Remote
That'd be funny if they like
comes to
interfered with
life
each other.
using a more than worthy successor
That would be pretty
to
good.
Wii Sports. Let me introduce you to Wii Sports Resort,
Here we go.
which is literally a day at the beach. It generates fun in the sun with a variety of activities, and we're going to show you 3 of them right now on stage. While I have Cammy come out here along with Bill Trinan from our Treehouse group to explain the action, I can tell you that there will be one Wii Motion Plus accessory and extended jacket packaged with every Wii Sports Resort. And of course, others will be available separately. So Cammy, what have you got?
Okay, Reggie, I have got probably the cutest game that you have ever seen.
Oh, this is the dog one. Yeah.
Peach,
The frisbee throwing.
and we are going to
Ah,
play Disc
I
Dog
think I
together.
remember this a
I
little
know, before you
bit.
do anything, Cammy, I think what we need to do is let everybody understand here what Wii Motion Plus is all about. Now, if you guys are anything like me, you probably remember the very first time you got your hands on the Wii Remote, and that, for me, was a magical moment. And I want you all to prepare yourselves to experience that same thrill again here at E3 this year. Now, you'll notice that as Cammy is subtly rotating her wrist, that precise action is being reflected on screen in real time. At
Now
the
that is
exact
cool.
angles that she is moving. And as she moves her hand in front of her in space,
Dog's just
it knows
twerking.
exactly
It
where
is-
her
it is.
hand That's what
Twerking
Wii
pretty
Motion
hard.
Plus does. Okay, Cammy, you don't even have to press a button.
Okay.
Just swing your arm to throw the disc.
Okay, Peach, you ready?
And we'll see how your puppy
Okay, let's go,
responds.
girl. Let me do a little, line it up. I was never very good at this, and,
Oh, oh, there goes. Oh.
Oh.
You wanna, you
see,
gotta
it's
pay
so
attention to that
precise
tilt when
that
you're
it's picking up my bad wrist action. Okay, let's try this again.
Is that the good wrist or the broken wrist?
Well,
Point at the center of the screen.
Unfortunately, it was the good one. Okay.
Oh, yo!
He got it! Arf, arf.
Oh, Reggie, you gotta admit, is that the most adorable game you've ever seen?
You know, it's kind of cute. It's kind of okay. But I want to show the group something that's a little bit more my speed.
Oh, Reggie, what's your speed?
Now, this is what I'm talking
Sword fighting.
about.
Yo.
Oh no. Okay, never mind.
Sea-Doo.
Wow.
Oh.
You really like that throttle, don't you, Reggie?
And look at Reggie go, dude.
Yeah.
Aki's got the stance.
Oh.
Oh, yes.
I mean, you gotta show it up.
Oh.
It'd be funny if they gave you an
don't miss
attachment that made it look like you're holding like a handlebar.
That'd be pretty good. Ah, Reggie.
Watch out for the roller.
Ah, Reggie.
Bump.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you're right, Reggie. That really is more your speed.
You know, guys like power stuff, you know?
Oh, you guys.
You guys.
I think the crowd is going to like being on a you know, power cruiser a lot more than throwing discs to a dog.
You guys are all the same.
Well, obviously, we've got a little dispute here that I think needs
Now,
to
this
be
one's
settled.
probably the sword one.
And I think there's no better way to do that than with little old-fashioned sword dueling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, I never played it. Always seemed like the most fun game in Wii Sports.
Okay?
From what I remember, it was
Alright,
like
we'll
the
get,
most fun game
started here.
that I played anyway.
Now you hold the Wii remote with both hands, right? Of course, you can chop vertically. Okay. You can chop horizontally. You can chop at any angle you want.
All right.
And in fact,
He's
you can
clearly
block,
never played Metal Gear Revengeance.
and
Yeah,
all that is
right.
reflected in real time. If you're really good. You can sharpen the pencil as well.
Yeah, that's not really working too well
Okay.
for him.
Not really.
I am so ready. How often do you get to do this with your boss? No, wait a minute. Okay.
You're
I
gonna
gotta get
switch.
ready.
There you go.
Give me a minute.
Body is ready, etc.
Yeah.
Ready, Cammy?
I am so ready.
So now let's see who the true master is.
Can Reggie do it? Reggie, historically, not very good at winning games on the big stage.
I mean, he is kind of just spamming the sword down, so, you know.
He kind of is.
That's why they call me the Reginator.
The Reginator.
Now, if
I
just
forgot
got
about that
both
one.
wrists working.
You want to go again?
Let's go again.
You want a little more?
Bring it on, baby.
Oh. Oh, she might actually do it. Oh.
I like how he's just not even doing anything. He's just like pretending to block.
Well, it looks like with one match each, we've got a bit of a draw, so we're going to have to let everybody decide which one they prefer on the show floor.
No.
I've just seen the birth of the Caminator. I don't know. You know, what we've shown you today is just a small taste of Wii Sports Resort. If you stop to consider a summer vacation, other activities come to mind, and several of them will appear in Wii Sports Resort. But Wii Motion Plus represents a much broader opportunity. It's clear that many developers specializing in virtually every game genre are right now contemplating how to use Wii Motion Plus to further drive player immersion.
I mean, I could believe it.
Obviously, that won't happen instantly. But when the world's best game creators have the chance to work for a while with this new standard in one-to-one motion control, they'll certainly take you deeper than ever before. We began our presentation today with a single image in mind, smiling faces. And we believe there'll be a lot more of them when Wii Sports Resort launches globally next spring. But before we finish today, we want to introduce you to one more experience available this holiday that you'll all be able to play with your current Wii remotes. It's safe to say it will generate a lot of smiles, new smiles, in a whole new way.
Now they're really making this quite a show.
They are.
Ah, here we go. It is it. The Wii musics. That guy... Was he a drummer in the Game Awards?
I don't know.
Not too long ago? I remember something about someone going like, oh, you know, this is where that guy is now. I think he is actually a pretty famous drummer, I think. I don't know who he is, mind you. But I want to say he's been in stuff.
Yeah, I can't say for sure.
Please welcome gaming legend Shigeru Miyamoto.
Yo, the man himself. I was wondering when he was going to show up. All right, Megan, so what's your take on Wii music?
I mean, I think it's a interesting idea, but I don't think it's really... It doesn't look like it's really that fun of a game, in my opinion.
Yeah, so here's kind of the thing with Wii music. I remember when this aired, and I remember thinking Wii music was a really interesting idea. I know everybody else, especially, like, kind of shat on it, right? Rightfully so. Because I remember going on the like GameFAQs threads about it, and people going like, oh, Wii music? Man, what the hell is this? It is very cringe to see it, like, on stage, right? I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the cringiest, like, maybe not, like, I think it gets cringier, I think, which is why I'm saying that. I'm pretty sure this is considered, like, peak Nintendo cringe. But it's not really a game. It's a fun idea, but, like, it's not really a game, you know?
It's just GarageBand for your Wii, basically.
This year,
yeah, basically.
I'd like to introduce you to Wii Music. Please. このゲームはね、Wii の企画を最初立ち上げたときに、Wii スポーツ、それから Wii プレイ、Wii フィットと同時に計画したソフトですね。
This game is one of the titles that we began designing alongside Wii Play, Wii Sports, and Wii Fit when we were first finalizing our plans for Wii.
でリビングでこう家族みんなが年の差も性別も関係なく遊ぶにはやっぱり音楽は欠かせないと思うんですね。
Because if you want something that everyone in the family can enjoy together in the living room, regardless of age or gender, music is a must.
で Wii Music は過去にあるこう一般的な音楽ゲームとは全然違った。
Yeah, so I guess the guy that was playing the drums is called I guess he goes by DJ Ravi Drums.
Oh,
okay.
And he's actually done quite a few things. Apparently he was a drummer in an alternative rock band called The Last Good Night.
Now, most music games
he was a music director for an American TV series. It doesn't say which one, mind you. He was personal DJ for Hugh Hefner. Played a smaller role in The Matrix Reloaded. He played the drums at E3 2008. He made some songs for Slumdog Millionaire. Like, he's not, you know, he's not, I guess he's not, like, super well known. But, like, he's done stuff. He has his own wiki article.
曲を演奏するのにね、あなたはこう、一生懸命ガイドを追いかける必要はないんですね。
Now, there's no need to closely follow any musical notes or rhythm guides in order to play these songs.
自分がこう音を鳴らしたいタイミングでこうその楽器に合わせた身振りをする。それだけで Wii の方が勝手に正しい音を鳴らしてくれる。
I guess the thing with Wii music is I think it's a little too casual.
Is hold the Wii remote.
A little bit, yeah.
Body like you would when playing a real instrument.
Because yeah, like it's not like a terrible idea.
And plays a note for you that
but it's like you said, it's not a game. There's no way to really fail at it. You're not really doing anything. You don't got to follow any notes. It's literally the most casual game.
I can play guitar, but I cannot play the sax at all.
こう僕がしてたのはこう Wii リモートをこう構えてサックスを吹いてる気分でこうボタンを好きなリズムで押してたわけですね。
So I was just holding the Wii remote, pretending like I was playing the sax, and pressing the buttons with a timing of my preference.
で僕はどの音を吹こうかとかね、間違ったらどうしようかとか、そういうことを全然心配せずに音楽を楽しめました。
So in this way, I don't have to worry about what do I do if I play the wrong note or if I make a mistake.
さっきこう F0 をイメージしてたんですね。
For those of you who are familiar, this song might sound a little bit familiar. It's from an F-Zero game.
でこのソフトではね、このサックスだけじゃなくて50種類を超えるいろんな楽器がその楽器に合わせた振りで弾けることができるんですね。
In Wii Music, you're going to be able to play over 50 different instruments just by moving your body.
See, like, to be fair, I think that's kind of neat. You know? Like 50 different instruments. Like, that's quite a lot, right?
Just like that.
バイオリンはね、ちょっと凝ってるんですよ。
And the violin.
Yeah.
Megan, did you mute yourself?
Yes. No.
Okay. You're just being quiet.
It's a slightly more unique instrument. You hold the strings with your
Which is
left
fair. I just know
your
you've
left hand,
accidentally muted
press the
yourself
buttons to
before.
sound the notes.
Well, mute yourself on purpose,
The
but
bigness
for
of the
accidentally
motion of
forget
your
to
right
unmute
hand
yourself.
Adjust the volume of those.
Yeah, no, I'm doing okay. But yeah, Wii Music isn't really much of a game as much as they're trying to show it. And this is a really long demo for it, too.
Well, I mean, I was, you know, just mostly saying about how, like, it's kind of cool that there's, like, 50 instruments. Like, it's neat. Right? But I guess, yeah, like you said, not real much of a game.
You can pluck. And strum.
But see, Miimoto has fun, right? Which I still respect.
Yeah.
Taiko drums.
There's a variety of percussion instruments as well.
I actually really do like the Taiko drums. I think they sound really nice.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Okay, that's actually pretty funny.
こんなね、それからさっき後ろでドラムを叩いてくれたのはプロのドラマーのラビーさんなんですけどもね。
And of course, behind me here, we have a professional drummer who's been performing for us this morning. His name is Ravi Drums.
There you go.
Ravi Drums.
で彼が今使ってるのはWii Fit のバランスWiiボードを使ったね、ドラムのフットペダルのついたフルセットです。シミュレーターです。
Yeah, I guess one constant in this conference is that they've really been showing all the games that they're trying to use with the Wii Fit balance board.
They have been, yeah. There's actually a lot more compatibility with it than I thought there was.
This mode also includes lessons, which means that anybody, even you, can learn to play the drums in just a few weeks.
ラビさん昨日練習しただけでも随分とこう快適に弾きこなしてますけどね。
In fact, Ravi only started practicing just yesterday, and as you can see, he's already gotten quite good.
さて、覚えておられる方もあると思いますけども、2年前に僕はここでオーケストラの指揮をしました。
I'm sure some here in the audience this morning remember, but 2 years ago on this stage, I conducted an orchestra.
I do remember that.
なんかインターネットではこう下手とか言われたんです。
Yeah, that was using Wii Music. That's right.
I was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And I think they even said that was something that we may be seeing in the future, or maybe I don't remember.
They did tease it, yeah. They didn't really say what it was, though.
So we've included in Wii Music both this orchestra game and some other modes, like a handbell choir and some note matching games as well.
だからさっき演奏を評価するゲームじゃないって言ったんですけども、逆にミュージックビデオが作れるんですね。
And while I said earlier, Wii Music isn't a game that's going to evaluate your performance, what it will do is record videos of your performances.
でこのモードではなんか一人でこう何役もこなした自分のミュージックビデオを作ることもできます。
And in fact, one player can play and record each individual part in a song and create their own unique music video.
じゃあそれでね。
Yeah, you know, I guess the Wii Music did get like mixed to positive
reviews.
reviews.
This morning, I thought it might be nice if we played a song for you.
6人の編成バンドなんですけど、
That's actually nicer than I would think they would give it.
Different parts, but you play with up to 4 players simultaneously.
それから今日は特別にダビーさんのドラムも。
There's some people that said it was more akin to a tech demo or social audio experiment. With little to interest adults, but simple enough to be accessible to everyone, and believed it would be a hit with young children and their families.
Ms. Denise Kegler on the marimba.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Along with our all-star treehouse horn section.
Yo, here comes everybody.
Everybody ready?
ですか。あ、僕は何にしようかな。僕はカウベルしか残ってないです。
Looks like all that's left for me is the cowbell.
Ding ding. It's an important instrument, Miyamoto. Don't worry. Marimba.
All right, bring the house down, guys.
All right, here we go, Megan.
I kind of forgot they played the Mario music.
Yeah. I don't think Gravity Drums even has anything going on with this one, does he?
Yeah, I don't believe so.
He's just going along with it for the funsies, I guess. Or maybe he is. I don't know what he's on, though. It's like there are enough people. Maybe he is in this one. But he's not on drums, though. But he's still playing drums.
Yeah.
See, like, I can't really hate this just because they're having fun on stage, to be honest. Or at least they seem like they are. Miyamoto is.
Yeah, Miyamoto is. I don't know about the other guys.
But it is still, like, pretty cringe. Like, you gotta be real about it.
It is very cringe. Especially with the walk-off stage like that.
Yeah.
As Mr. Iwata said, is to look forward to a place where gamers are more engaged, more enriched, and even more enthused in their experiences.
Consider the possibilities. Snowboarding on the Wii balance board, yes, without injuring yourself. Using Wii Speak to talk live worldwide with friends as they arrive electronically in your Animal Crossing. Even using the new Wii Motion Plus as a sword to help your boss feel better about himself. There's no question that games can and will engage us in new and more compelling ways. And there is only one place where high-profile games like Guitar Hero, Star Wars, Rayman, Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, and
I would argue not all of those are,
right alongside
you know,
unique franchises,
grade A titles,
Pokemon,
you know.
Animal Crossing,
Yeah.
and now Wii Sports Resort.
I was also even just thinking that. I'm like, they got a rather lackluster lineup for this year so far.
More smiles to more faces.
I mean, based on what we've seen here, yeah, nothing really super great, weirdly enough.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
From the minute that DS launched, almost from the moment that Wii went on sale, we've all heard the same word: fad.
That's
Well, that
true.
was never a fact, even if it was
Yeah.
a real hope.
That
for
was
some people.
definitely what some people said
I'm here
about
today to
motion
tell
controls.
You that fad is no longer operable. It's inevitable.
I mean, when you're 2 years in and like it's still,
imitation is just around
you
the
know,
corner.
selling really well, yeah, definitely not a fad.
The only way to preserve your advantage
Yeah.
is to create new advantages. If you've positively disrupted an entertainment industry so well that both current and new consumers all say, yeah, I like that, then the next challenge is to disrupt your own thinking. The fact is that Mr. Iwata and Mr. Miyamoto have built a company in perpetual pursuit of that one thing, the next advantage. Not just the evolution in look, but the revolution in feel. This week, you'll feel
they cut his mic.
steps.
Ah.
Nintendo builds the next advantage.
Switchboard guy.
Smile.
What are you doing, switchboard guy?
Thanks for your attention, and we look forward to seeing you.
Okay,
over
he
the
got
next
it.
few
He
days.
fixed it.
Reggie's gonna immediately go backstage and go, switchboard guy, you're fired. Just like your just like your previous worker, previous positions person, whatever. But he was fired last year. Now you too must perish. Okay, so interesting. So I don't know, what'd you feel about that one?
Like, overall, I thought it was like an okay conference. It wasn't super interesting. It felt a lot more corporate with even just the way it was delivered.
Mm-hmm.
And generally just not as much fun, and like we talked about, very cringe.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's definitely going to be towards the bottom this year, I think, for me.
Yeah, I will admit that wasn't the best showing I've seen from Nintendo. Not really a lot of great games, really, and none that certainly interested me at the time or currently interest me, even.
Yeah.
A lot of push for the balance board, which is fair, but not really for games that I play. I mean, the graphs are impressive, right?
Yeah.
They look good, and I mean, it's good for Nintendo. But, like, yeah, I'm not really seeing anything too great. Because, like, you know, you look at, like Star Wars Clone Wars. Even at the time, I don't think I would have seen this game as being, like, really all that good. Turned out it wasn't, right?
Yeah.
Raving Rabbids, not something for me. I don't even know if it's a good game, to be honest. But not something I would have personally been interested in, and plus, I don't really like the Rabbids as much. I think they're okay. But I think at this time, they were being still heavily pushed. Because, well, random XD creatures are funny, right?
Yeah.
And World at War, honestly, I'd just play on the 360. Right? That would be my choice for console for that one. Guitar Hero on Tour, I don't know, DS ain't really my thing, especially at the time. Don't really care as much. Spore Creatures, don't really care as much. Waiting for Spore, right?
Yeah.
Wii Sports Resort seems cool. Sure, that seems fun. Wii
yeah,
Music,
that one seems fun.
Not so much, right?
Yeah.
It's funny because I even read on the wiki page for it. It says Shigeru Miyamoto has stated that the game's sales had not been as strong as originally hoped, with a possible reason for this being competition from established music and rhythm games such as Guitar Hero and Rock Band, which are dominating the market.
You can't compare that to Guitar Hero or Rock Band. Are you kidding me?
Look, it made Miyamoto feel better at the time, okay?
Like, this is like a casual, like, oh, I'm gonna, like, pretend to play an instrument, while Guitar Hero and Rock Band are, like, trying to make it somewhat more realistic. Like, obviously, it's very different compared to playing, like, an actual guitar, but at least they were trying to add skill and expression into the game.
Yeah, right? So let's see. So he says in an interview in 2009, Shigeru Miyamoto stated that Wii Music was a really unique game, and even today we're receiving several different offers from people in the field of music education. I think it still has great potential. However, when asked about future plans, Miyamoto only gave hints of future plans. Unfortunately, we don't have any news we can talk about at the moment, but like Wii Fit Plus, it's not really a sequel to the original Wii Fit, but we have added some features to improve the overall experience. It's kind of an enhanced version. As of 2024, there has not been a sequel to Wii Music.
I wonder why.
I find it funny that someone updated that. I wonder if someone just goes here every year and updates that.
I would not be surprised, to be honest.
Well, whoever you are, I respect your dedication, assuming you do that every year. But yeah, like Wii Music, it's not really a game. Cringe kind of performance, cringe showcase for it. Like I said, I love Nintendo. I love Miyamoto, but not everything is going to be a hit. And I think this conference for Nintendo actually, I think you're right. I think it may actually be near the bottom, which has been very rare for Nintendo. Because the Microsoft one showed me some stuff that I actually really liked, right?
Yeah.
And had some cool, fun stuff to it. This, not really. Maybe it was a really slow year for Nintendo in 2008. You know, I'm not even too sure what other games came out for them at this point. But maybe they were just between things, you know?
Yeah, this seems like a year where they're probably between a lot of big projects.
Yeah. So we'll have to see what Sony brings to the table, because I believe Sony is next, right?
Yeah, it should be.
So we'll have to see if Sony continues to be cringe, as they have been for the past couple of years, to be honest. Like, not super cringe the whole way through, mind you, but, Ridge Racer, Giant Enemy Crab, picking up women in, PlayStation Home, Home in general. It's been very, kind of cringy. So we'll see if Sony keeps that up, or if Sony maybe has the best conference. Maybe they will. Or maybe Microsoft will take this one. I don't think Nintendo's taking this one this year, though. For me personally.
Yeah, probably not. It's gonna depend on Sony, but yeah, I think Nintendo, unless Sony's is really, really bad, Nintendo's probably at the bottom this year.
I think Nintendo might be at the bottom this year, yeah. Which makes me sad to say, but this will also prove that I don't always just pick Nintendo as the best conference because I really love Nintendo. I do like Nintendo. I'm certainly not a Nintendo fanboy by any means.
No.
I just acknowledge a good conference. So yeah, I guess we'll have to see. Anything else you'd like to add, Megan?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, so I guess we'll be moving on to the Sony conference now, and we'll see what they have. But for now, thank you everybody for watching. We hope you all enjoyed. But for now, it's time to cue the outro. So for I go, and we shall catch you guys later.
Bye.